welcome to Retired Tranquil in Thailand and week 2 of the Race Country Cottage build. This week our builders were busy installing rebar footing cages and columns and backfilling with concrete. So with 32 columns and pits to deal with, a considerable amount of work. About 90% of it was completed, and today, Sunday, they're finishing off the last 4 or 5 columns and footing posts. So stay with us, come along for the journey of what happened this week. So this is early last week. The pits have been filled with a very fine sand and leveled to make a level footing in which they'll pour the first level of concrete. As you can see from the aerial footage, there's the steel shuttering has been put in place to make the formwork. And these have been placed according to pins that were established by the survey that you saw some footage earlier in the video. So about 90% of the form workers in, they don't have enough form work, so they have to finish one bit, and there's I think 5 pits that will have to come towards the end of the week, early next, to finish it off. So fine layer of sand and form work in place, ready for the first level of concrete. So coming up is the work associated with getting the first level of concrete in place. Well, here we have the CPAC concrete truck has arrived on site and beginning to put concrete into the footing pits and making a level, smooth concrete floor which to put the rebar chairs and columns onto. So it's just a reinforced base to start the column work. And engine oil is being applied to the metal to ensure that concrete doesn't stick, and it's easy to remove the metal shuttering at a later date. So coming up is just some video footage of concrete truck and some of the team members pouring into the flooring or into the pits. They also have to get down in there with their rakes and hoes to spread out the concrete and make it level. Fair amount of concrete needed to get it all in place. As you'll see coming up, after it's been sprayed roughly, they get down in there with trowels and do trowel work to make it smooth. I must say, better them than me. Young, energetic people, better than an old fart doing the work. So here we have the workers down with their trowels in the formwork, smoothing out the concrete to make it perfectly level to receive all the rebar. And here we have the pile of rebar, cages and columns that have to go in. And now they've put them out around the site. Once the concrete's dried, they'll then start to install these. Now on to the next day, and concrete's cured and ready to take the cages, as you can see being installed here. A video coming up shortly that gives some action on all this activity. So here we have the rebar cages that they've previously put together and being installed and lined up according to the survey pegs, and to ensure that it's centered in the framework and to allow the column to sit in the middle. The idea is, when the concrete's in and the frames and the forms are up, the columns are up rather, the idea is to distribute the weight of the house across a wider area to make it more secure. Hopefully no sinking. That's the plan. That's the engineering idea of foundations. Now here you see them placing what they call rebar chairs, just little concrete chairs that they set the cage on to keep it off the bottom, so when they pour the next level of concrete, it surrounds the rebar and it's not exposed in any way. Okay, so here we have the column being installed onto the cage. It's in the footing pit. These are the columns, generally every 4 meters that the foundation will be tied to. The workers centering it over the survey pegs that were done earlier. And here you can see they're tying, they use strips of thick wire to secure the columns to the rebar cage. You can see the chairs and the white little chairs. And the column is positioned over the peg, so it's exactly where it's meant to be according to the blueprints as it's surveyed. At least that's the plan. Let's hope it works. Here you can see that most of the columns are now been secured to the footing cages and all sticking up, and concrete's beginning to be poured in to make the final footings. You'll see in the framework, the formwork, that there's some wooden cross beams. Those are made to ensure the columns, they've been leveled and made perfectly straight up and down, and held in place so that as the concrete gets poured, it doesn't move the columns. Later next week, they'll be putting metal shuttering around those columns and pouring concrete to make the concrete columns. At that time, they'll also ensure that those metal frames are 100% straight up and down as required. It's 40 degrees and boy, it's hot out. It's been terrible. And then here, as the concrete's being poured, they're using a vibrating machine to ensure that the concrete settles properly and remove any air gaps and forms a good solid footing. Interesting to see them using this equipment on the build site. From what I've read and researched, they seem to be doing all the things right. I'm no expert builder by any means, but from my review, all their steps so far have been pretty sound. continuing with the machine on all the pits, at least during my time, but I'm pretty sure that they used it in all the pits. The builder also did a what they call a slump test. It's to ensure that the concrete being poured has the right consistency and workability, so it's like it's sound. Good result, I'm told. So here we have some drone perspective on the work outcome for Saturday and Sunday. Most of the columns and footings have now been poured. There's about 5 left that the team will work on probably on Sunday and Monday to complete. I asked the builder what the next steps were, and he said, well, they'll be working Sunday to finish off the footings. I suspect it'll be Sunday and Monday. Monday with some concrete pours to finish it off. And then they'll start on pouring concrete for the columns. So the rest of the footage is just drone footage of finishing off what it looks like Saturday afternoon late, and then again just a quick check on Sunday to see where they got to on the day. So enough for me for this video. Enjoy the rest of the drone footage, and we'll speak to you in the next video on what got done over week 3. Thanks, cheers.